the single talk track that I recommend that I've used for 60,000 outbound cold calls. And this works for any product, any industry, because I've personally used it to sell software, over $1 million in recurring revenue, and now over $50,000 in pharmaceutical containers and medical supplies. So it works. And we'll do a brief role play.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, this is Trent from D&D Wholesale. How are you?
Doing all right. Tell me, why are you calling?
It's great to hear, Chris. The reason I'm calling you specifically is I noticed that you oversee human resources at Audio Technica. Is attracting, retaining, and engaging your employees, is that a priority for your team this year?
I mean, well, obviously that's my role.
I figured it was. We specialize in helping groups just like yours to better collect feedback from their employees so that they can make better decisions to drive those outcomes. Being that this is a priority to you today, let's set up an introductory meeting so that I can talk about your top priorities and introduce how we might be able to help.
I mean, I'm pretty busy and we're already, we have a solution in place.
I'm not expecting you to change today, but I imagine at some point in the future, you may want to revamp your program or see deeper outcomes. So what I'd love to do is share what we're seeing as best practices in the market, and maybe you can implement those to your programs today, or when you're in a position to look to change, we might be the right partner for you. Just looking to start a partnership.
Well, I guess you make a decent point. I do want to keep my options open. So
let's do it. Well, is Chris at audiotechnico.com still the best email to reach you?
Yeah, you got it.
Good. So on that call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the recent industry trends report that we just released, because I think that will be useful to you right now. I'd love to talk more about how your program's working today, and I'll introduce how we can help. If we both agree there's alignment, we can continue the conversation. If not, we can part ways. How does that sound?
That's fair. It sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, I look forward to speaking with you. Boom. That's
insane.
Well
done, Trent.
That's how I do it. And you hit me with the objections, which doesn't make it easy.
I put you in a pressure cooker. You handled that very smoothly.
Yeah,
that was really good.
I hope you clip that out, because that's how you make a cold call, regardless of what you're doing. I'll break it down, the components for you.
Let's do that.
You got to nail the first 5 seconds. Everyone loves to think about that. And there's a lot of goofy things out there people are telling you to do. People are saying, hey, this is a cold call. Do you want to hang up? Can I have 27 seconds? Are you not having a not bad day?
You're right. There's too many options, and I fall into the trap too. I've got like 7 openers, and let's be real, you don't need that many.
When you're calling a C-level at a reputable company, you're saying this is a cold call. Do you want to hang up? Do you have 27 seconds? Are you having a bad day? Like, these are they're very gimmicky.
Yeah.
So I've found to be very straightforward, very transparent. Hey, Chris, this is Trent from my company name. How are you? Good. No matter what they say at that point, they may say, I'm doing well. How are you? If they do that, you know you're in. If they don't, you know you got to get into it immediately. So that beginning is going to tell you a lot about their current state. So then I immediately get into the reason I'm calling you specifically is, and you always got to give them the reason you're calling, because they want to know who you are, what you want, why you're calling them. The reason I'm calling you, and this is where you can play with it a little bit. If you're low level, you're going to say, I'm following up on a recent email. Does Audio Technico ring a bell? You probably don't want to, if you're calling low level people, maybe that will work. But the way I start is I lead with a value-based opener. I know Chris oversees human resources, and I know that they have to care about attracting, retaining, and engaging their employees. Those are business outcomes of my solution. They're not features. So think about what outcomes you're selling. Lead with that. Get them to say yes. Validate what you're trying to share with them is relevant to them, which we've done. Then you can get into your opener, or your value prop. We work with companies just like you all day to help them achieve this. Quick, go into the call to action. And that's what you do. And a few tips between that. If the call feels rushed, it's you who are rushing the call.
Yes.
So you see, I control my pace. No matter what he hit me with, we're not interested. I'm not expecting you to change. And that's the meta response to any objection. You acknowledge what they say. I know you don't have any budget. We're not talking money today. Hey, I know you're very happy with that solution today. Hey, I know everything's all good. You're not expecting to change. You acknowledge that to diffuse it, take off the pressure, and then reaffirm your intentions. Look, I want to be your partner. In order for me to do that, we got to talk. And I want to understand your world and share with you best practices. because I'm a thought leader, and what I have to say, you got to care about. And that's how you approach it. You got to lead with value.